what I'm learning right now is that my worth is not my body. Like, my worth is my energy, my soul, my mind. That's my worth. My worth is not my body. Like, when you're on a fitness journey, it's so easy to fall into an eating disorder, and I feel like that's just not talked about enough. This is why I didn't put on a lot of mascara, because I knew she was going to break down at some point. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Natalia if you're new here. By the title of this video, you already know what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be getting into. My fitness and health journey, how I got to where I was to where I am today. Probably my most requested video ever. I've been holding off on it for many different reasons, but we're here, we're doing it, and thank you for being here. I think I kept like pushing this video back just because like it does hold a lot of trauma for me. And it's kind of hard to just share that with the whole world. I didn't think I was ready, but I feel ready to just talk about a little bit of what I went through with eating disorders, diet culture, all of that. Yeah, I know by sharing my story, if I at least help one person, that's all that matters. So I do just want to put up a trigger warning. I will be talking about eating disorders, calorie counting, so if any of those things might trigger you, please don't watch this video. So my fitness and health journey, let's just start from the beginning. As a kid, I never struggled with food. I never looked at food as good or bad. I always had a good relationship with food. My parents would have healthy snacks, but also, you know, things like Oreos in the house and chips and normal stuff that I feel like most kids have. So I never looked at food as good or bad until high school came around. So when high school came around, I did cross country my freshman and sophomore year. So I was in really good shape. I ate what I wanted. Like, food was never a concern for me. And then my junior year, I dropped out of cross country and track. I stopped that, and then I also got into my first relationship. And during my junior year, when I stopped running, I gained the relationship 20. If you know, you know, when you're just like baking, eating, literally doing all the foodie things with your significant other, which is like amazing. Like, it's a great time. But I gained some weight. At the time, I didn't even see that like weight gain as a bad thing, because I was genuinely so happy with food, with life, with the person I was with. Like, I didn't even, you know, really take notice of how my body was changing a little bit. So at the end of my senior year is when I was my heaviest. I had just gotten broken up with, and ironic, right? And I just like instantly knew it was because I had gained weight. And I just like looked in the mirror and I was like, no wonder why he broke up with me. Like, I'm so heavy now. I'm not pretty. I'm not beautiful. Like, I just, all like very negative things, being very, very, very unkind to myself, because I, you know, saw that like I was heavier, and because I was heavier, I thought I was unattractive. So because I absolutely hated my appearance, I told myself I was going to do anything and everything I could to lose weight as quickly as possible. So I ended up getting a gym membership, and I ended up just going to lose weight, like all external things, nothing internal, not to feel good, but just to please people and feel accepted. My only focus was to be skinny. I didn't care what I had to do to get there. I was going to do it. That was my mindset at the time. So, and I felt like the only way I would be accepted by a guy, or even just like people, would be to be skinny. So once I started going to the gym a lot, I started following a bunch of fitness influencers who promoted dieting and calorie counting and MyFitnessPal and checking the scale. and just all the things that, you know, normal people do when they go on a diet. And I thought, you know, I'm on my health journey. I'm doing what I need to be doing to lose weight, to develop a healthy relationship with food, fitness, all of that. I thought I was doing the right thing by following some of these influencers. I was absolutely obsessed with their content. I would compare my body to theirs every single day, every single post, every single story. Like, I was just absolutely obsessed with their content because I wanted to look like them so badly. At the time, I didn't realize how toxic their content was for me as a vulnerable, you know, girl who's just trying to lose weight. It wasn't a healthy mindset to have by following these certain people. I'm not gonna say who it was, but yeah, I just like didn't realize how toxic their content was for me at the time. So I ended up getting into the mindset where food was only a number to me. Like, I didn't see food as good or fuel. I never let myself have sweets. I never let myself indulge in something that would satisfy my craving. Like, cravings weren't allowed. I stopped eating out because I was scared of calories and portion sizes I had no control over. Like, my life completely changed. I restricted so much because I was afraid of losing control, and that's when I started binging. So a little backstory, I worked at California Pizza Kitchen for a few years, and they basically saw my body transform, so like they were there for it. And I remember I would go into work, and after, you know, losing some weight, people would be like, oh my gosh, like, you've lost so much weight, like, what are you doing? And I remember hearing those compliments and feeling like empowered, like, yes, like what I'm doing is working. Like, I'm gonna eat a banana with honey after my shift, and like that's all I'm gonna eat. Like, that was what my mentality was. Like it felt like what I was doing was right at the time, when in reality that was so not right. Like, the fact that my snack usually was like a banana with peanut butter or like honey, like after a 5-hour shift of being on my feet. Like, I worked takeout, and I worked as being a host, and like, you know, you're on your feet. Like, I needed like a sandwich or something after my shift, like not a banana with honey. Like, that's not a meal, that's not health. And I thought that that was me being healthy. Like, oh, I'll just have a banana with honey. Like, no, that's not a meal, you know? So I was underfeeding myself, and that really started affecting me physically and mentally. I started getting really bad fatigue, really bad headaches. You know, my sleep was like all over the place. Like, I was just not there. And so again, that's when the binging really occurred. So I would like underfuel myself so much during the day, and then at night is when I would just go ham in the kitchen and eat till no tomorrow, and feel so overly full to the point where I felt numb. And it was just this constant cycle that it was so hard to get out of, because I was like, okay, like, this is my life, like this is it. But like, oh my god, no, like, that's so not what life is about. Like, I was just so unhappy because I was like stuck in this cycle of like restricting, then binging, and no one really knew. I didn't talk to anyone about it because I didn't think it was that big of a problem. Like, I thought, I don't know, the whole time I was like, I'm just on like a fitness journey, like I'm just on a health journey. Like, I had never seen anyone really talk about that side of health. I don't even know if that made sense, but I had never seen anyone like really talking about like binging and like restricting all day and then binging at night. Like, I thought what I was doing was right. So another thing I did to help like numb my cravings was I would watch like mukbangs and like calorie challenges. I would watch like Stephanie Buttermore and her calorie challenge videos, and feel like I wanted to be able to get to her point someday, where like, because she like would eat whatever she wanted, and she'd eat all these things and still look the way she did, and I wanted that so badly. So I'd look to her for like inspiration and be like, someday I'll be able to eat these fear foods and not feel any guilt. And that's like kind of what started me like looking forward and like not wanting to live the lifestyle I had been living, like being able to be like, oh, like food shouldn't be scary, like why am I so scared of these foods now? Like it's because diet culture completely, like the people I was following completely changed the narrative of health for me. There's this one girl who I followed, and she would put on her stories like this versus that, so like a rice cracker versus a bagel, and why you should have this versus a bagel. And it's like, bro, like I completely stopped eating bagels because of that. And it's like, how about you go, like, if you want the rice cracker, you want something crunchy, something lighter, have that. But if you want something more filling, eat the bagel. Like, the way some of these people, like, come across online that are trying to help others, like, lose weight, I don't know. I just, like, it really, I think, put me down into a spiral of disordered eating habits. And yeah, I could really go off about a certain someone, but we're not gonna do that. We're just talking about me and my growth. Anyways, so yeah, I would watch Stephanie Buttermore almost every night in her videos and just like wait for the day I could eat the food she was eating and not feel guilty and not fear them. And like thinking back, like, so my freshman year of college, I was still in that like diet culture mentality. I would restrict, then binge, restrict, then binge. And then my sophomore year is when I really started having orthorexic type of tendencies, where I would just obsess over every ingredient, even if like it didn't affect me, because there's some people obviously who are more gluten intolerant, dairy-free, vegans, like obviously like people have like actual dietary restrictions, but some of the people I was following, you know, would be vegan or plant-based or whatever, and I thought that that was the only way for me to be healthy, was to be totally vegan and gluten-free, dairy-free, all of that. But I've realized that like after introducing some of those foods into my life now, like they don't affect me. Like that's like, I actually feel my best when I have chicken and salmon and real meat sometimes. I've learned what works for me and what doesn't, and that's health, is finding what works for you. And yeah, I just like, I said no to so many different things just because I was like afraid of food and losing my progress and not having the ideal body type, the hourglass figure, not fitting into society standards. That was like my main concern, my main worry. And I literally said no to going to a freaking wedding because I was scared that I wasn't gonna feel like I could completely enjoy myself at the wedding, because I'd be thinking about the food the entire time. Like, that's just like when I knew I hit rock bottom and that I needed to make a lifestyle change, because I wasn't me anymore. Like, I wasn't Natalia. And yeah, like it was hard because I didn't really have anyone to talk to about what I was going through, because I didn't realize that it was like an eating disorder. I didn't realize that it was something that wasn't healthy for me. I thought I was being healthy, but it was really tearing my life apart. This is why I didn't put on a lot of mascara, because I knew she was going to break down at some point, but we're ready. We're fine. Anyways, after I hit rock bottom is when I discovered Natasha Ocean. She's a YouTuber. Love that girl so much. Oh my gosh, hi Natasha, if you're watching this. You're probably not, but like, love you. I discovered her on YouTube, where she taught me what intuitive eating was. And if you don't know what intuitive eating is, it's basically eating when you're hungry, stopping when you're full. Basically just eating, but diet culture has put so many different things into our minds where intuitive eating is gonna make you fat, or intuitive, like. But yeah, so Natasha Ocean introduced me to intuitive eating, and when I saw that she was able to eat all the food she wanted to eat and not feel guilty and still look the way she did, like, it really made me want to try it. So I was like, okay, I'm doing this, like, let's go. No more restricting, no more calorie counting, like, let's try this, right? So I wanted to start eating intuitively, eating what I wanted while still pursuing my fitness goals and having freedom with food. And that's when I discovered Pinterest. Love her so much. Literally, she changed my life. Pinterest is where I discovered my oatmeal obsession. Literally all of my recipes come from my Pinterest. Like, just love her so much. So I have Pinterest to thank for helping me fall in love with actually eating healthy and like meals that like satisfy my cravings and that are just so good. So this is the part of my story where I started eating intuitively and I looked at food as fuel, but I didn't necessarily have the best relationship with movement and fitness in the gym. So by allowing myself to eat what I wanted, it made me want to go even harder at the gym, even on the days where I genuinely didn't want to go to the gym. I'd rather go on a walk or do something light. Like, I would force myself to go just because of what I ate the day or the night before. And it got to the point where like these toxic thoughts would like come into my brain while I'd be at the gym, and I'd be like, if you don't finish this set, like, you can't have the flour tortillas instead of the corn tonight, or, you know, if you don't hit the Stairmaster for at least 30 minutes after your workout, then you can't have dessert tonight. Like, it was kind of me negotiating with food about my workout, and that wasn't healthy. Like, that's not intuitive living. So I was eating intuitively, but I wasn't living intuitively, and that really hit hard when the pandemic when I say it like that, when the pandemic started. Yeah, it like really put like intuitive eating, intuitive living to the test for me, because like right before quarantine happened, I was like going to the gym like literally 7 days a week. Like, I had no rest days. Like, I would not allow myself to have a rest day, which you need rest. You need to like let your muscles recover. Like, no matter what type of journey you're on, like, you need a rest day. So not having the gym anymore was like really hard for me at first, because I was like, okay, like, I'm gonna go back into my old ways and start restricting again. And that was like something of its own, and we're not dealing with that anymore, because I realized that intuitive living, like intuitive eating, is so much more than just eating. Like, it's like intuitive living. Like, I have to be okay with not doing a crazy workout after I have a cheeseburger, or, you know, like if I want the burger, I'm gonna have the burger, and I'm not gonna think about the workout and the calories I'm gonna take off the next day. Like, I'm gonna just enjoy the burger, and that's where I'm at now. But anyways, I'm like getting ahead of myself. I did not plan this out correctly. What am I saying? So at the beginning of quarantine, since the gyms were closed, I was like, okay, how am I gonna move my body? I didn't have many weights at home, and so I ended up discovering different types of movement, like long walks, yoga, longboarding. Like, those are all things that I actually like love doing now. And I wasn't doing crazy workouts every day. I wasn't, you know, I was just moving my body in ways that felt good. And that's when I really started like fully like living intuitively, is when the pandemic hit. I learned that movement is medicine, not a punishment for what I ate. And I don't need to force my body to move in ways that won't serve me that day just because I want pasta for dinner. Like, I've stopped associating food with movement and just separated the two, and like just honor my cravings because it's just my craving. And if I feel like doing a big workout the next day because I feel energized, great, I'll do it. But if I don't and I just want to go for a long walk, that's what I'm gonna do, because the gym just isn't fun when I'm forcing myself to go because of what I ate. The gym is more fun when I go because I want to move my body and I feel energized and I'm like, yeah, let's go get this pumping, like let's go. That's when I want to go to the gym, not because I'm like, oh, I ate like so much last night, like no, we're not doing that anymore. That's not healthy. That's not health. I thought it was health, but it's not. So I do want to say I never got diagnosed with an eating disorder. That's why I've been kind of hesitant to like say I struggled with an eating disorder, just because I never went to a doctor and seeked help. Everyone I've talked to that has had an eating disorder that I've like shared my story with is like, dude, you had an eating disorder, and like the thoughts that were going into my mind every day like affected my everyday life. And I'm just here to remind you that if you're struggling and you're like on a fitness journey and you think that you might be struggling with like any sort of eating disorder, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to not be okay. Like, I wish that I had asked for help and not seeked out help like by myself. Like when you're on a fitness journey, it's so easy to fall into an eating disorder, and I feel like that's just not talked about enough, and we should bring more awareness to it, that like it can be toxic. Like, who are you following? Like, what are you consuming when, you know, you're trying to get more fit or whatever? Like, I don't know, it just, that's what like made me fall into an eating disorder, is basically the people I was following. But I'm just here to remind you that it's okay to ask for help. Like, it's so okay. So where am I at now? I'm at the point where I don't look at food as numbers anymore. I look at food as fuel. I don't look at food as good or bad. I just think food is food, and I will continue to honor my cravings. And I stopped checking the scale. I stopped counting calories. I move my body in ways that feel good and celebrated, not punishable for what I ate. Basically, I feel the most free I have ever felt with food and movement. I would be lying if I said I don't still struggle every now and then with eating disordered thoughts. They still creep in every now and then, but it's me making the daily choice to be like, nope, not today. We're recovering. We're doing better. We're not going back to that space. That's where my mindset's at now, and I'm just so grateful that, you know, I have you guys and I'm able to share my story with you guys, and you guys like honestly help me. Like, even me like making, you know, those TikToks and just talking about like my past a little bit, and you saying like, this helped me eat today, like that helps me. Like, you have no idea how much you guys help me too. So I'm just very thankful for you guys. What I'm learning right now is that my worth is not my body. Like, my worth is my energy, my soul, my mind. That's my worth. My worth is not my body. And I'm here to remind you that you are worthy. Like, no matter what stage you are in right now, like whether it's your fitness journey, health journey, all of that, you are worthy right now where you are. Like, this present moment, like I'm telling you, you are worthy. Don't ever let anyone make you feel like you're not worthy because of what you look like, because of your weight. Like, get them out of your life. They don't deserve you. And I'm telling you, you're worthy right now. You don't need to lose yourself in the process of becoming your better self. You're supposed to enjoy it. You're supposed to love it, embrace it. I hope that by me sharing a little bit of my journey, I'm able to help at least one person. Like, literally, if this just helps at least one person, like, I'm fulfilled. Like, my purpose, she's good. Yeah, I really care about you guys, and this wasn't easy to make, and I just don't like thinking that far deep and thinking about my trauma, but it's trauma and it can help others too, and I'm thankful for it. Like, I'm thankful for my trauma because I wouldn't be here without it, honestly. Like, I wouldn't be here talking to you guys and even having my platform without everything that I went through. So I'm grateful for it in a way, and I love you. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for watching this, if you literally watched this whole thing. And just know that there's so much more to life than like freaking numbers and people's opinions. Like, just do you, have fun, do what you need to do to feel your best. Everyone's journey looks different. You don't need to follow what this person's doing. Like, follow what you want to do what you need to do to feel your best self. Yes, I'm sitting literally on the floor because I tried like filming on my bed, just didn't work. We're just here, okay? I felt safe and comfortable here, so. I am starving now, so I will be making a large meal. Follow natsneatteats. I'll probably post it here. But yeah, I love you guys. Have a great day. Food is fuel. Eat some dessert tonight. You deserve it. If you want it. Like, you don't have to, but like, if you want it, I know you want it. I know you want it. Okay, I love you. Have a great day.